So I don't know how many of you are interested in the Russia-Ukraine war that's going on, but we've talked about it many times. I think on this channel, Patrick Lancaster has a YouTube channel. I'll put it in the description. Highly recommend that you subscribe to him. He does some interesting work. So he was checking out these tanks that Russian troops are said to have captured from Ukraine. And they talked about the tank and some stuff. And then they were talking to the soldier. He works with a Russian-born counterpart. So Patrick Lancaster, I believe, is American-born. He sounds like it. Found out in this video he has a wife from the Donetsk region, and which may have been part of his involvement. I don't know the whole story there, but he works with a native Russian speaker, so when he stumbles, the other guy helps out, which is kind of cool. But he does a good job. And he was talking to this young man, and in the course of the conversation, you figure out he's about 25 years old. He got out of high school at 17 and joined the military. And he asked, what his family thought, and he says his mother was against it, but his father used to say, "You should respect and cherish the memory of our ancestors. Know the history. Otherwise, we will be barbarians." And that struck me that as they try to erase the history in the United States by taking down statues, changing names of things, they're trying to convert us. And I think you guys know that. It's not just these two people are pissed off at this statue. It doesn't work that way. It's a full agenda headed that's taking process in the U.S. So he continues to talk to this guy, and he says, "Otherwise we will just be sheep, and anybody can come and impose an ideology on us. And otherwise we will do it in spite of the fact that we were shoulder to shoulder marching together from 41 to 45. So the people in Ukraine were Russian back then, and they did basically defeat what people call the Third Reich. It was not the United States, as we were told in our histories, in our little schools. If you read about that history, for whatever reason, they decided to go into Russia during the autumn. It didn't go well. And Russia gave nearly 20 million souls. And from their perspective, it was to stop fascism, which, by all means, you can call the Third Reich and Hitler's regime fascist. Almost in the way that you could call the Biden regime fascist. Very similar. We're just in the beginning stages of that. But from their perspective, he says, "We liberated the whole of Europe, the whole Ukraine from fascist invaders. We hung a victory flag over the Reichstag. We defeated the Braun plague that was spread all over the world." And, maybe not all over the world, but if you delve into the World War II history, it's not what we were told, at least in the U.S. mostly. So I don't support war. I think war is stupid. I think there are better ways. But at some point, it's self-defense. You gotta protect yourself. A little further on in the video, he says that the U.S., or he asked how the people of Ukraine were, and if they supported, or the Donbass, if they supported Ukraine. And he's like, no, 0% supports Ukraine. We're all Russian. And he says, Patrick Lancaster mentions that the United States and the rest of Europe says that the Ukrainian people were invaded and annexed by Russia, and that they're, at the barrel of a gun, so forth. And the guy says, "No, what can I say? This information given to the whole world is not credible. Russia came, and we, residents of Donetsk and Lugansk region, started to breathe freely." So, if you understand that Obama and Valerie Jarrett overthrew Ukraine and put in a leader, caused a bunch of chaos. Meanwhile, the current sitting president and his family benefited financially through the process. It's pretty dirty. And the U.S. government's pretty bad. Briefly, at the end of World War II, the architects of the Third Reich, including medical experiments and scientific advancements, were not shuttled away to jail. They didn't go to a work camp. They didn't go to prison. They were brought to the U.S. and they started NASA. Operation Gladio, is that the right one? I think so. So many operations I've read about, they run together. I was going to call it Operation Paperclip, but I know it's not that. Paperclip's the CIA involvement in the media. You can look that up too. But just something I wanted to share. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you later.